Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist, Hank Goldberg in Las Vegas. It's happy Wednesday morning. We're looking forward to another big weekend of college and pro football, and of course, the pennant races. We've got a lot of action there as well. Good morning, Hank.
How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Congratulations in the pro football last week with our service at jimfeist.com. You were 6-1. Absolutely remarkable. You're doing it again just like you did last year.
I hope it continues. I really like the card this week. I like a lot of favorites. Although I think the game tomorrow night could go either way. I'm anxious to see how good Cincinnati is. They won a game last week where they actually won it on an interception at the end, but they played well, and I think the difference was their running game. Mixon is the real deal at running back, and now he goes against a strong defense and Baltimore coming in there. And the game's kind of a toss-up. It's going to be a real game, a real interesting, tough game, and a good game to watch. And we'll see how good Baltimore is. Baltimore historically has not played well at Cincinnati, and if you recall last year, they had a very disappointing last game of the season where Cincinnati kept them out of the playoffs. And so, there's a little bit of a chip on their shoulders going out there. And but Baltimore has got some last week, and of course Baltimore played Buffalo, who's terrible. And but Flacco really mixed it up. He had three different receivers, different tight ends. He's got a lot going for him offensively. So this is going to be an interesting game. And it could be a tough one for Baltimore.
It's going to be a tough. It's a division game. All those division games are very physical, and like you said, there's a lot of history, and Cincinnati's played them well there. Cincinnati's played well both in the preseason and last week, but you can't tell much about the Baltimore win because Buffalo is so inept. So that was a kind of a freebie game for them. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Should be a good game to watch, and a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, Baltimore has looked so good in preseason too, and they've said Flacco has really been throwing the ball well. And they've added wide receivers, and they've added some defense, and they're just loaded. And a lot of people have projected them to win their division. So this will be a good test for them, though, because Cincinnati, Mixon is being put up there among the top 3 or 4 running backs in the league right now. That's how good he is. So
he is very good.
He's a difference maker in their offense.
He definitely is very good. No question about it. He's a very good player, great addition. I mean, they have a lot. Both teams have a lot of talent, and it should be a great game to watch. I'm excited to watch that game. Not all the games have potential, but we were talking a little bit about Detroit and what's going on with Detroit. I got to ask you this question. Last year, Patricia was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots, but the Patriots' defense was not very highly rated during the regular season, and then, of course, in the Super Bowl, they gave up a ton of yards and points. Is Patricia overrated as a defensive coordinator and now as a head coach?
Well, he's been very good for a long time there, but. Something. He may be just another one of Belichick's failures as coaches who move on. Can't think of anybody who's been successful as a head coach who was a Belichick assistant, and that includes the guy at Alabama who was a failure as a head coach with the Dolphins, Saban. So. But from what I had heard out of Detroit was that he's been working these guys very hard in the OTAs and in training camp, and they're already worn out. and they're not happy. And, they still have the same offensive coordinator, so people assumed that they would they would be okay offensively, but they were terrible against the Jets, and which brings up a story about how good the Jets might be. But the Jets destroyed them, and so you got an unhappy team that now they got to go to San Francisco, and San Francisco is a team I think should bounce back this week. We were talking off the air about teams that could come back. This is a good spot for San Francisco to get things going on their season.
Yeah, they're not going to be facing the Minnesota defense this week, that's for sure. And and the getting first home game, that definitely is something to look at. I hadn't seen Matt Stafford look that bad ever. I mean, he was just totally off his feed in that game. You're talking about coaches that came out of the Belichick tree. O'Brien down in the Texans he's not lived up to what a lot of people expected him to be. I don't know
that. He's got to prove himself. He's made a lot of mistakes there, and the only time he's looked good was when his rookie quarterback came out of Clemson and lit it up last year, and he made the mistake I think of not bringing him back too well, and everybody thought that that was the big wise guy game last week against New England, and his quarterback played terrible, and I'm anxious to see what he does this week. But he was really way off his game. He ran well at times, but he had a bad game against the Patriots, although they came back in the second half. But they weren't ready to play. He was not ready to play. And that was a game that their defense played well enough to beat the Patriots, but we'll see what happens with them this week. They're at Tennessee, and Tennessee's really beat up. That's a team that should bounce back, Houston.
Yeah, speaking of the Patriots,
Watson should have Tennessee has lost a great tight end for the season, and Mariota, maybe not. His elbow is responding to treatment, but he's not 100% if he can play.
All right, and they go with Gabbard if that's the case. The Patriots go down to Jacksonville this week, and that's a big rematch of what happened last year. And Tom Coughlin got his victory at New York last week, and this is another big game for the Jaguars, who have a tremendous defense. And, it's going to be a good game because I think the Patriots' front seven's a lot better than it had been.
I like the Patriots a little bit in this game because I don't think that I think that I think that Jacksonville poured so much into the Giant game because of Coughlin's obsession with beating the Giants that they may have to play a little catch-up getting ready for the Pats. Not only that, but Belichick's 11-4 in regular season road favorites, but the last couple of years, and but not only that, but you don't know if Jacksonville is going to have their running back ready to play. He got hurt last week, and if he can't go, that really limits Jacksonville offensively. And there's such a huge difference in quarterback play. I just couldn't take Jacksonville in that game.
Yeah, if you want Brady or Bortles, it's a pretty easy choice if you're picking quarterbacks. That's for damn sure. Hank, anything else you want to cover before we sign off? I know you're busy this morning.
Well, I'm okay. I think Giants-Dallas will be interesting. The Cowboys looked pretty bad last week. Giants, I think, go in there with a good chance to get their season going a little bit. Seattle loses Baldwin. That's not going to help them any. We'll see how Chicago does. And that's an interesting Monday night game. The Jets, remember last year, I think the Jets are very well coached. They were 7-1 and won last year at home, and the Dolphins last year were 1-7 on the road against the number. I think the Jets can be pretty good. Their defense is strong. They got a good pass rush. They're a good defensive team, and this rookie can have another good game. He started off slow last week, but he'll make mistakes. But they've got a good running game, and like I said, their offensive coordinator, I've known him a long time, Jason Bates, his father, Jim Bates, was a great defensive coach in the league for a long time, and he was an interim coach with the Dolphins when I was in Miami, and he's a good friend of mine, and horse player. I always loved horse players who coach. His father was that. And but Jeremy Bates is a brilliant young defensive mind, and the Jets might be a little better than people thought. And I want to see what Kansas City does against Pittsburgh this week. Is that Kansas City offense for real? The second-year quarterback, is he going to be able to rack up points like he did against San Diego when he gets to Pittsburgh? That's going to be a fun game to watch. There's some great games this week. Let's talk college for a minute, because I've got a game that I'm interested in, and that is there's one Achilles heel in Saban's tenure at Alabama, and that's when he goes to Mississippi. Mississippi always gives him a hard time. There's an interesting trend there. His last 4 trips to Oxford, or to wherever they are in Mississippi, he's 1-3 against the number. Mississippi's got some offense.
That's right, they do. Now, there's not too many times you can say that there's a kink in the armor of Saban, and they are numero uno in almost every department and every statistic, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to a big week. I'm looking forward to some of these baseball games. We've got a good matchup today with Cleveland and Tampa Bay. You've got Carrasco against Snell, and both these guys like to pitch in this ballpark. And Snell he's having a heck of a year, especially in his home games. Been amazing. And finally, the Rays had won 11 straight home games. They lost yesterday 2-0. Yep. There's a lot of good things going on in baseball. Atlanta is spreading out a little bit their lead, and there's a lot of good stuff happening out there in baseball. And we're getting, playoffs start very soon, so it's going to be exciting.
Well, there's only a few teams to watch now. There's the race out west. There's Houston and Cleveland. The Cubs are playing well again. And St. Louis. Wainwright came back. The Cardinals are playing real good ball. So, St. Louis, Chicago, Houston, the West Coast teams. And, the Yankees, Red Sox will be playing each other this week. So that's always fun.
Yeah, Oakland, you got to put in Oakland. They've had a hell of a year. Seattle was there for a while, but they've fallen off a little bit. But Oakland remains a pretty good team. It's very interesting. Well, Hank's plays and mine are at jimfeist.com. So if you want to win, Hank's been red hot. I'm doing very well as well. So go to jimfeist.com for Hank's plays and mine. Thank you, Hank. I appreciate your time today.
Okay, Jim. Always good.
Thank you, buddy.